And we're live. View your stream. As you can tell here, I am turning that down, turning this down. I am rushing around trying to get everything going here. How's it look? Just making some final tweaks. It's been a hot minute. I think the last time I went live maybe was home and not here on the road, but here we are. How's the sound? And I didn't even get a hold of Miss Laura to let her know I was going live tonight. She's been busy. I've been busy. I have been out here on the road since 4. Jumped in the truck last week at 4 o'clock. And I ran, where did I start? Started up north, up Delphos area, Indiana, and all the way down to, what are you doing there? Maybe it's that one. I got my lights here. I'd dim them down just a smidge. To that southwest corner, just above Evansville. So I ran that for 2 days, got back up Friday, grabbed another trailer, headed out to West Virginia in anticipation for the snowstorm to hit after they had just gotten pummeled with all the ice. So I got up there Saturday, unloaded at a customer, did my 34 there. Interesting that I did the mountain pass there out of Elkins around Seneca Rock and Davis, West Virginia, up to the 48. There's a highway that cuts out there in the middle of the Appalachians. It's like 63 miles or more. It's a 4-lane highway, kind of like your interstates, 65 miles an hour, and I saw, a handful of cars. But I got up at midnight Monday, and what do I want to say? I took off. I got logged in at 12:40, and I took off at 1 o'clock. I had a 4:30 delivery time. I got there at 10 after 4 in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Kicked that off, pulled out of there at 4:30, and kicked off the rest of my stops towards Roanoke, and then turned around and headed back up to Grand Rapids, Michigan. Turned around, grabbed this trailer. They had already had it preloaded, so I was supposed to drop and hook and leave. But as I was checking it out, the board that I've shown you guys on these trailers, the power board, the toggle switch was leaving it on all the time. And so the toggle switch had gotten enough ice and snow that it was pretty well broke. So the power was left on constantly, and I had a marker light out. I told the boss we'll chase it when I get back up in the front corner, but he went back to take a look at the power button on the control panel, and all the rear lights were out. So we sat there rushing around really quick so I could get out of there, and it wasn't the cord or anything like that. And I just dropped the trailer that I'd been under for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. So I bumped that trailer up to the dock, and they pulled everything off from it, put it in my trailer I just dropped. I dropped and hooked, grabbed back that trailer. They got me loaded all in an hour, full 53, and then I booked out of there. So it pushed my delivery time an hour out this morning, but I still made good time today and sitting good. What's going on there? They already had it preloaded, so I was supposed to drop and hook and leave, but as I was checking it out, all right, what do you know? So I started up outside of south of Cleveland. Get this thing turned down. Come on. I wanted to try the GoPro because I really didn't want to get the computer out. And I know everyone hates the streaming off my phone because I can't get it to do horizontal. So I started south of Cleveland and I did eastern Ohio, central Ohio. I'm in Circleville at the Love's truck stop in Circleville, Ohio, south of Columbus. I got to head along, run some stops. Southern Ohio, northern Kentucky, finish out tomorrow, and then I'll be back up Friday, and I'll probably give them a call tomorrow morning. I'll have hours left, see if there's anything I can grab when I get in Friday morning and knock out. Otherwise, bump the dock and probably stay under this trailer. It's been doing me good. With all the snow and ice, the problem is all the controls on those lift gates, they get the salt, that salt embedded in all the slush. It gets kicked up from the wheels back on the panels. I have come up with a couple solutions for this, and the installation company had said to Ryder, because it was one of our Ryder trailers, basically said that modifications would void the warranty and blah 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 blah. So it's shit. You know, these fucking engineers, they design stuff and wow, let's just put all the switches and all the controls right out there hanging where the duals of the tires are going to kick up the slush, debris, stones, the salty slush that now is getting embedded in there, and it's going to create more problems next month when we get into spring here in March. Everything unthaws and the rainwater starts getting up there. We're going to see so much rusting in areas, and then the lift gates start squeaking because all the pivot points are getting seized up with all the salt, because that salt is caustic and it starts oxidizing and eating everything alive that has got any kind of metallurgy in it, whether steel or aluminum. But you know, they don't care. So when you lease a trailer, it's kind of like they'll put in the bare minimum amount of maintenance, because that's a negative, you know, a negative aspect when they've got to put money into it to keep it maintained, because that's part of the lease. But overall, it'd be a different scenario if we own the trailers. They'd probably be better top notch, but you know, it is what it is. You just deal with it and you roll with it. I did have a because I swapped trailers. I got this one Friday, but I swapped trailers because the trailer I had on Thursday, Friday in Indiana, it was like -4, -5 with the snow and slush and all that. And the lift gate was, it'd go up 6 inches, stop, and then you had to keep fiddling with the toggle switch. We got a toggle switches, power switches in the trailer and outside on the control panel, but either one of them, only when it went up, it would just only go up 6 inches and stop, up 6 inches and stop. So there was some short somewhere only on the up position. The in and out and down position, it was working fine. So who do we got there? Says, hi, hopefully you'll be on the next run this way. Stay safe with the snow coming this weekend. Yeah, we had 3 trailer loads. When I stepped back in, when they called me Wednesday, they said they were behind 3 trailer loads in my area. Plus, I couldn't even get to West Virginia and Virginia. Not only were they getting snow and ice, but the flip side of that was Ohio coming across diagonally from like Evansville, Louisville, and going across over to PA. So I want to say like Cincinnati to like Erie, PA, and all that going out that way. They had gotten so much snow, there were so many level 3s. Now in Ohio, a level 3 means if I'm out there with a commercial motor vehicle, they will ticket and shut me down right then and there until they're lifted. And that could be 1 or 2 days. So there was no sense for us to send our trucks out doing the Ohio routes if they were under a level 3. Now, Pennsylvania put themselves under a tier, what they call tier 4. They have 5 tiers. The 5th tier is the only people on the roadways is emergency vehicles, which is plows, tow trucks, EMS or police. Any motor vehicles, pickups and cars would be banned, but they were at a level, or they were at a tier 4, which banned all commercial trucks all throughout Pennsylvania, but you can drive your personal vehicle like a pickup or car. But so I said, I'm fighting everything to get out there, plus the ice, and I had a lot of customers down in Roanoke that said, I'm glad you didn't come, because, or they called up and said that most of them were shut down Monday and Tuesday. They opened back up the middle of the week. When I did deliver this past Monday, 2 of my customers, I collaborated with them. We had a meet at a Walmart parking lot in Roanoke because they had so much snow and ice, they couldn't even, it was so frozen, the ice and then the snow came on top, and it was so cold and it stayed frozen, they couldn't move it. And it was too cold to put salt on it because it would just refreeze. It wouldn't dissipate and melt it away. Therefore, so I had to have 2 of them meet me at that parking lot. We had to hand unload into their delivery trucks. So we got that done. And like I said, I got back up to Michigan, and here I am. Now what I'm dealing with is, now that Ohio got pummeled with snow, the roadways are somewhat decent, but all the parking lots, even this Love's, you would think that the snow that's in the parking lot was slushy. You would think they'd have a plow guy come in and clean it up during the day when the sun was out and heating up the asphalt. But this parking lot is still snow covered for when all the trucks were sitting here during the snowstorm. Now that, you know, this parking lot was about 90% cleared and empty, that, you know, like noon, between noon and 2 o'clock, they should have had a plow guy out here cleaning this up. But, you know, I've just seen so much laziness this year. Municipalities and private sectors not clearing roadways and parking lots. Customers, definitely, I had to really watch so I didn't bend my front bumper, but I was afraid of getting the front end up in the snowbank and either ripping a sensor underneath or, you know, puncturing any kind of coolant. So it was really small back and forth when normally any other time I could make the swing in. And that wasn't the case. The parking lots have gotten smaller because of the snow being stacked. Roanoke, they definitely do not know how to plow their roads. So a 2-lane road, so you got a car alongside of you on a normal summer day, it was down to a 1.5 lanes because they left about 2 feet on each side not plowed. So they didn't even get up to the curbs. So everyone was tucked up. So my steps, I was looking down, I was right at the center line, and the cars going by me are nearly rubbing my steps. And I'm thinking, why couldn't you do a better job? It's just, this has been the worst winter I've ever seen for the most shittiest snow plowing I've ever witnessed. So, you know, yeah, you can throw salt down all freaking day, but if it's what did they say in Michigan? Like, if it's below 20 degrees in that, its effectiveness goes right down to nothing, because all it's going to do is melt and refreeze right away. So otherwise, if you just want to, you know, it melts and it glazes over and smooths everything out. Now you got more of a slick spot than you did before. But yeah, you know, here we are in America. You know, we are not the greatest nation. I'll tell you that. I've just seen some of the most shittiest things going on during the ice and snowstorms. I stayed home. We went out. We didn't get anything up there. I take that back. We were getting snow, but the one day that it was minimally snowing or got snow, we went and loaded up a couple grocery carts because I figured I was going to be out for maybe 2 weeks. So I got the wife all squared away because she doesn't drive and she will not drive in this stuff. But I went out out of the 7 days, 5 out of the 7 days, I was out there twice a day. The first 2-3 days, I had to get the snowblower out. We were getting 8 inches at a time. And I was clearing the driveway and the backyard twice a day. By the third day, I was going out in the morning, clearing everything, go back out the next morning, and have another 6-8 inches of snow. It was just non-freaking stop with snow. But our plows just run around the clock. They keep everything pretty well cleared. I mean, I could still have gotten in the car, driven down to the grocery store, and had no problems with a front-wheel drive Ford Fusion. So to say you need a 4-wheel drive is saying, are you going out in a hay field to cross over to some cabin? Because really, 4-wheel drive gives you traction, but it isn't going to get you any better around. I mean, if you're going to be out in a snowstorm that's dumping 1-2 feet of snow, 3 to 6 inches an hour, you shouldn't even be out there. Period. Doesn't matter what you got. But we stayed home. I got a lot done around the house. I got a lot of rest too. I got a ton of sleep. I think the first 2 days I slept during the day and at night I was probably sleeping like 15 hours each day for the first 2 days. And then I came around, so I was pretty well energized and ready to come back out. Not really wanting to come back out because I was like, fuck, I don't know what I'm getting into out here with the weather. Because with the snow came the sub-0 degree temps. I knew I was going to fight with the lift gate. That's a given. I'd been dealing with this hydraulics. I dealt with hydraulics with Caterpillar equipment in the middle of winter to when I worked at Waste Management and dumping commercial containers and all that, and the hydraulic walk-in floors. I've had them actually so frozen up on a 48-foot trailer that I had to drive like 3 hours back. We had to put it in the shop, unthaw the floors, but take it out to the yard and have a bobcat unload it, unthaw the floors, and then we just had to learn to not preload our trailers, but make sure they're empty and put them in the shop so the floor slats would be unthawed. So when we went to load, going down the road, all that wind chill just froze everything up underneath. And that's what goes on with these lift gates, that undercarriage wind, that wind chill. So if it's already like 0 degrees, so it's like -10, -15 under the trailer going down the road, them hydraulics are screaming demon. The pump's cavitating, just trying to get that fluid to bite and move and do anything, and it's a constant fight. There's going to be a day and time in the future I'm not going to miss dealing with the winters. These freaking winters. It's like if anything's going to break my spirit, to be the winter months. But I've had my fill of it. I've done I've seen what I wanted to see with the winters. So yeah. What else is happening out there? I know it's been a hot minute for me. My wife said I should have done more live streams, but I was working more on my stock trades, my stock brokerage, swing trading, and I was getting involved with some other stuff. So I figured I had to put more of my effort into some of those business aspects. So I was in the office for a few days. I was resting a couple days. We took a few hours and went grocery shopping. Other than that, I could spend an hour and a half, 2 hours every pop clearing snow. So that was always my morning rituals. Get up, get my coffee, have my first cup of coffee, then go out and start moving snow around. And I'm like, who in their right freaking mind wants to sit and live in this their whole effing life is beyond me. I've always said, these people that tourists that come up to Michigan and say, oh, it's so beautiful up here. It's fucking July or August. Dude, get your fucking monkey ass up here when it's February and January. Park your ass up here in your RV or whatever the hell you're doing for a month. Then keep your damn ass back home in Arizona, Florida, or wherever the fuck you crawled out of, because I get tired of those folks. And I'm like, that damn state is only nice when you slap some makeup and, it's like slap some lipstick and a dress on a pig. That's about what you got is Michigan. And anymore with Wisconsin and Minnesota, fucking Minnesota, they could Chernobyl that and turn that in. Just back up the garbage trucks all through the United States between that and California and New York and just turn it into a big landfill and say, there you go. But yeah, that's my opinion. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. We should be back on our regularly scheduled program next week. I think we're going to be kind of caught up because of the weather, but we still have a lot of back orders. I know I was moving a lot of November, December products that were back ordered this week. So I'm hoping next week, probably by the end of the month, we should basically be back at the regular basil line, which will be fine with me. So yeah, and this pig threw a check engine light. So I've been dealing with that since last Thursday. So that is the NOx sensor. So many damn sensors. It's the DEF fuel. It's the after treatment one sensor. It's got a variable rate change. So, but the what do they call that? The regen is working today. It was, basically cleaning the soot out and all that, but whatever's going on. And my steer tires are getting close to the wear gauges. So, and the PM is due March 2nd on this. So I stopped in the Ryder yesterday when I got fuel and got with the mechanics and said, let's just get everything done in one shot while you got it. And so they're going to be new steer tires, fix the sensor, do the PM, should get things kind of back in tune, so at least I can come out into the spring, hopefully problem free with this. But I'll tell you what, these computer sensors and that, and these guys, I love this shit. I love the Volvos. I love all this fucking technology. I'm like, man, I would love to have a classic mechanical truck, Kenworth, Peterbilt, with either a 6NZ or a 3406B, and say, dude, just you don't need 8 cup holders, and you don't need all the sensors to tell you, which way to fucking turn or back up and this and that. It's just, what a bunch of garbage. It's just all that salt and crap gets in this, and it just kills these damn things. And all they're doing is chasing around just wires, where wires are plugging into sensors and other areas of whatever's under the truck. I just refuse to, I understand it, but I just refuse to want to know it. And I'm just like, and these Cascadias, tell me a Cascadia I haven't had. This is the 3rd Cascadia I've had in the last 10 years. And every one of these mothers fucking leaks at the windshield every effing time. And even when I was at Ryder running all their Cascadias, every fucking one of them, Freightliner does the shittiest fucking quality. I'm telling you, these torpedo turds, the quality control is just bar none.